And we're 10 seconds live. Boom.
I never didn't believe in Bigfoot. I never believed in it. I didn't believe in it. I never gave it any thought.
They kept wood knocking back and forth to each other, and it was in a pattern.
Barn owls don't typically throw rocks.
I come across these tracks.
Sasquatch is still not on my mind.
What's up, everybody in the chat? I've been talking for 15 minutes back and forth. Felt like I was in the ICQ days back in the 90s.
Y'all. Hi.
Yep. There's Melissa. We got Shay, David. We got Amanda. Wild Trees. We got a crew in here. And this is kind of rare for me to do lives lately because I've been recording a documentary and a Mothman series. And so I haven't been doing lives a lot lately. And but tonight, Melissa wanted to come on. I'm like, why not? This is fun. I got a fat ass energy drink and I'm ready to rock. But before we get started, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, my documentary about Flintville Monster comes out. And you can find it right here. Everyone, write this down. Put it on your refrigerator. Flintville50.com for tomorrow. I'm going to put it up there for a couple of minutes. While I introduced Miss McCarty, not McCarthy, that I've been calling her all week. She's not a communist.
No. And yes, the actual surname back in Ireland was McCarthy, and this was an ancestral name, so yes.
All right.
And they dropped the H and just put TY when they came over here.
It's
Census
McCarty.
takers heard it McCarty instead of with the H, so that's how they spelled it.
McCarty.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me want a Frosty Guinness. even though I think Guinnesses are nasty, and I don't care who says otherwise. They taste like you're drinking milk.
Well, McCarty's really my stage name. I have a real name, but anyway, this is just my stage name.
Don't we all?
It works for me.
All right. Tonight we're going to step into the supernatural with Melissa Renee McCarty, the outlaw psychic, a renowned medium, energy healer, paranormal investigator, and has spent 45 years unlocking mysteries of the unseen. With deep roots in shamanism, Wicca, and Old West, she helped countless of seekers find answers beyond the veil. So we're going to deep dive like a sumbitch tonight. And I wish I could do drugs because I would for this one. Let's I would definitely be half in the bag for this one. But anyway, everybody check out flintville50.com for the Flintville Monster documentary tomorrow. And I'm just gonna leave this up for like 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Melissa, we've talked about a year ago, you had to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
And I affectionately called you the Billy the Kid Lady. And tell our friends why I called you the Billy the Kid Lady.
Well, it's because I am actually blood related to him. He is my ×9 biological great cousin through my ×7 great grandfather. And the surname is Dodson or Dotson, Dotson.
What was his real name?
Henry McCarty.
Billy the Kid was?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I think it was like, I guess it was Henry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And yes, his alias name, Bonnie, was actually an ancestral name.
That's what I was thinking.
And
Bonnie.
I come in Dodson, Bonnie, Bonney, McCarty, McCarty, McCarthy. There you go.
I did not know that was his real name.
Yes, real name.
That's cool. Well, how did you discover that this was actually a factor, and then you started interacting on the on the psychic level with him? How'd you discover that one?
He came to me, actually. He came to me. It started out with a recurring dream that just kept going night after night after night until I was like, all right, all right, all right. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. I've got to go find out what the hell this is all about. So I told my folks, look, I've been having this dream. I can't shake it. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm scared half to death. I'm just a young kid, 13, 14 years old.
That long?
And, about 13.
Oh my gosh. That long
So
ago.
I'm just a young kid. I don't even know what the hell's going on. I've never experienced this before. I don't know. I mean, can we just go find out what the fuck this is all about, please?
Did you have to like go to his grave and start?
Well, let's put it this way. He did not die like everyone thinks he did. Oh, no, no, no. That's another of his secrets.
What's the story of his death? Was he just getting shot? Is that what they? Is it
Everyone
like?
thinks Pat Garrett shot him in 1881. No, he did not. No, it was another of the relatives that looked identical to him.
He lived to be an older fella, didn't he? That's the.
Oh, yes, he lived until 1935.
Good Lord. That was like
And
yesterday.
he died in New York. He went back to New York. Now, here's the other secret. He was an undercover Texas Ranger. Oh, yes. And my book is going to burn history to the ground.
What kind of physical proof do you have of it? I mean, you said you had a couple clippings.
Photographs, documents. I have death records. I have birth, marriage, death, census. You name it, I got it. The only things I am missing are census records between 1860 and 1870, and then 1885, which is the closest time period to 1881. And genealogically, that makes sense, by the way. I'm also a genealogist, so, I kind of study this stuff rather religiously. And then 1930, which is the nearest census date to the time of his death.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's always, there's a bunch of movies about him out there. There's the one with, I always call him Buster Scruggs, but he's the little fella from Over There Art Thou. He plays the old Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
And he goes ham on those guys and shoots them. I love the old stories, or even the luxuries.
The old stories, let's put it this way, I can guarantee you are bullshit.
Well, yeah. Wild West lasted
why
like 3
they're
weeks.
bullshit, and I can tell you this exactly, and my book's going to prove this as well. Thanks to my co-author, Josh Ehrlich. Hi, Josh. Love you, hun. Who, by the way, is none other than John Tunstall. Yes, and I've done the photographic work to prove that as well. By the way, that's going to be in my book. And great guy and all that. He's lending me some of his photos to, prove all this stuff out. And I have the photo of him with, by the way, none other than his cousin. Yes, Billy's cousin. Brushy Bill. Ring any bells to anybody here? Yeah.
Brushy Bill?
They're in the same photo in the same unit of Texas Rangers. No wonder where Brushy got the stories from Billy.
That's wild. There's no telling how much overlap there is back then, because anybody could just be deputized.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were going through academies like they are now.
Well, it just so happens that back when Billy met his wife, his first wife, I should say, Branna, namely, you know who. Hello, I'm back.
Oh, that was your first life there?
No, that was not my first lifetime.
Or your past one.
No. I've had others. We'll get into that later. But anyway. When he met me back then, it was 1870, Santa Fe, New Mexico. And yes, I've been to the place it actually happened. And yes, it has been verified by other historians. Oh, yeah, that did happen. And yes, it did. That was the place.
Did you know before you went,
No,
or did you know
I did
afterwards?
not know. No, no, no. I have a book still in my collection that basically had a passage naming that location as where he would be known to hang out. And
Mhm.
so I was in the plaza at Santa Fe. I looked up with my book. I goes, oh my God, it is real. So this dude ain't just boshing, you know?
Mhm.
So I feel like, I'm drawn there, moth to a flame. Okay. And I see the cafe doors. So, I'm touching the cafe doors and the columns. I'm going, wow, this is really cool. I walk in. There's sawdust on the floor. There's a bandstand to my right. There's a bar with back bar, all that
Mhm.
stuff to my left. There's a little bit of I guess you would say an aisleway, if you will. Tables and chairs on either side of me. And there's Billy and his crew sitting there right at the back of the bar, right like to the very back, to the right of the bar.
Mhm.
And I mean right at the very dead end of it. Okay. Sitting there, just, drinking,
Mhm.
smoking, playing cards, all that. He looks up at me, his eyes are sparkling blue. He's grinning like a Cheshire kitty. I go, Billy, what are you doing? He goes, Brandon, what are you doing here? I goes, I should be asking you the same question. What are you doing here? I was kind of shocked, going, what in the name of creation?
Was this a vision you had when you went in there?
No, this was an actual spirit experience.
Okay, so I was like, are you dreaming here or what?
No,
No.
no, this physically happened. And he tells me, come sit with me. It's very cold outside. And it was freezing outside. And I mean freezing cold outside at that time. It was spring thaw right around, I want to say about March 11 or so. Um,
In Santa Fe?
oh yeah, in Santa
Oh,
Fe.
so it's a little bit cold outside.
Yeah, it was freezing. And he tells me, come sit with me. It's cold outside. I don't want you catching your death. So okay, cool,
A little late for that, Billy. It's been 100 years.
Yeah, really. And so I go sit down with him, and his men start kind of crowding in on me, and he pulls pistol on me. He goes, she's mine. Go back to what you were doing. And they go, whoa, okay, okay. Oh, poor man. God love him. But anyway, um,
And this was the first time that you went to that place.
yeah, first time ever. And I've been back there about 4 or 5 times now. So yeah.
I was going to ask if did you have like strong deja vu when you first got there? Like,
Oh, deja vu ain't the half of it.
Mhm.
Um, so I went to sit with him, and it was really nice. We talked like almost all day long. My folks were frantic. They're like, there you are. No wonder we've been looking for you. But before they came in, he literally put his hand on mine, and a jolt of electricity went through my hand, up my arm, into my head. And all of a sudden, we were back in 1870 again. I'm looking around going, whoa, dude, this is wild. Cool. Yeah, I could get used to this. And then just as quick, we were back in, the same time period as I'm from. So, he's kind of like, well, what do you think of that? I goes, again. I'm
all,
like,
of,
again, come
all of
on,
a sudden you're
more.
in Back to the Future 3.
Kind of,
You're back there
something
with Doc
like
Brown.
that. Yeah, it was kind of something like that. But that was fun. That was a lot of fun. But my folks finally came in with my little sister, and we had lunch. We had a big old platter of blue corn nachos. Y'all, I gotta brag on this place. Their blue corn nachos platter is the Wow. Oh my God, it is so good. I gotta brag. I'm sorry. Uh, and if I ever get a chance to go back, I'm gonna sit down and eat me a platter of blue corn nachos all to myself.
Reminds me of Pocahontas and the Blue Corn Moon.
Well, you might want to say the actual real thing is my 15th grade aunt. So
Pocahontas?
there you go. Yes.
Not Elizabeth Warren.
No. No. But Elizabeth is a cousin on the same line.
Very distant.
Distant, yes. Very distant.
What was she like a 1/1000th?
No. It's less than that. I'd have to look again and find out what it was. I have the records in my stuff. I just have to look again.
Well, Amanda, I mean, related to everyone. I mean, back far enough, everybody's related. It's kind of crazy.
Something like that. But not everyone has what I've got.
Not like that,
so.
but yeah. There's some folks it's like
let's just say I'm 9/10 outlaw. Yeah, I'm about 9/10 outlaw because I could name drop all day long. So,
are there any other other than the Billy the Kid tie-in? Obviously, are there any other old West figures that you're?
There is Jesse Woodson James. He's my great grandfather, and I found this out actually quite by accident. I was looking for something else. I was online at my maternal grandmother's place, on the laptop, and I was looking for something else entirely. I happened across my great grandfather Joseph Henry Clark's records. I said, "Where the hell does this look familiar?" So I look up. I go, "Okay, we don't know anything about his family, so I'm going to look up the James line real quick." And wouldn't you know it, Jesse James Jr. and great-grandfather Joseph Henry Clark, their records overlap identically. And from the studies I'd done on Billy, well, outlaws did this routinely to hide their families.
So it's the same guy?
Same guy. And guess what, y'all? Jesse Woodson James Jr. is not buried at Fort Lawn in Los Angeles. Oh, no. They might have a memorial to him there, but he ain't buried there. No. He is in Oakwood Cemetery, Chatsworth, California.
Was he the one that was shot by Mr. Howard?
No, that was his dad. My great-grandfather.
There's supposedly a bank here in Huntsville that he robbed in Huntsville, Alabama. I think that was proven false, though.
Yeah, it was. No, I know he did like Texas, Missouri, maybe Illinois, Tennessee, maybe. I'm not real sure. But I know for a lot of things that was claimed that he did not. Why? It was other people that did it in his name.
Yeah, there had to be a lot of copycats back then because you couldn't trace anything.
Yes.
That's the reason they could change their names like that and go hide, grow a mustache.
Why do I say it was not him? Because I have actual recorded proof in a book that is in my collection, no less, that Jesse was in Los Angeles, California, recovering from double lung gunshot wounds.
Just casually recovering from a double lunger?
Huh?
Just casually recovering from a double lunger? That's insane.
Yeah, the man was tough as nails.
That's almost instant to most folks.
Tough as nails.
Is there a difference between a psychic and a medium?
A psychic can actually see into the past or the future. I can see mainly into the past, not so much into the future. Once in a while, I get a little flash of something here and there, but not often enough to make it count. A medium actually talks to the dead.
Yeah, that's definitely what they do. Also, when we hit like a 45 or 50 minute mark, do you do tarot?
I'm just starting
Okay,
to. I'm not educated enough in
Okay.
it yet to really say I can do it.
I was going to ask for a collective reading, but if you're just starting, it's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just starting.
Okay.
I have my
I just remember
cards.
that.
Yeah, my cards are on the other side of the room, so I'd have to go grab them.
I've been into that a lot lately. I've been into that kind of thing and angel numbers and manifestation.
Uh-huh.
You can go down deep rabbit holes with that thing because you can start believing stuff and make it happen. Like, how does that even work?
hmm I know plenty of tarot readers. In fact, my favorite is Lumen Moon Tarot. She's really good. Um, but all my tarot readers lately have been talking about the guy I've been talking to that I believe is my Billy come back to me, and we are super, super close. So yeah.
That Billy the Kid, and he was where was he born?
He was born in New York.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, how did he start out there and end up like in Texas and
Well,
Mexico?
thing is, what I was told happened. Now, this is only recent story, so I don't have anything to
Mhm.
yet. I don't have enough to yet prove that, and that's one of the things I still have to go into records to finally get my hands on. Is he was in the household of Patrick Floyd Garrett at the time, and Garrett taught him all the outlaw stuff. And so, because he and Garrett used to hang out pretty good a lot. And his mama thought, well, with his father gone, blah, 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 he needs a daddy figure, blah, blah, blah. Um, he could get the discipline he needed. Well, not so fast.
Somebody dropped a ball.
Yeah. So his mama said, well, he's not such a great influence. So she took him out of that household. And well, anyway, married this other guy, Antrim, and Antrim wasn't such a straight dude himself. So, yeah. And, so Antrim, as far as story goes, I don't have anything to prove it, but as far as I know, he beat Billy and his brother Joseph and any of his other kids. I mean, beat them.
Oh my gosh.
Like abusive. This dude was not mentally stable.
There's no telling how much that there was back then because there was no advocacy. There wasn't anybody to stop him.
No,
Just
no.
a wild.
And so Billy ended up, after his mom died, taking a bunch of stuff, fleeing the household, headed for, I want to say, I think he headed for Arizona. I'm not sure, but let's see. According to what I heard, it was New York, Illinois, Texas, back to Illinois, over to Kansas, back to Texas, back to Kansas, then New Mexico, met and married his first wife, headed for Arizona to go work for the Army, because he was a big believer in law and order, and then killed that Cahill dude, Wendy Cahill, because the guy was beating the crap out of him. I mean, who can blame him? It was self-defense. Everyone said so. They were going to hang him. He took off, headed back to New Mexico, back to his wife and family, and then stayed there for quite a while. And then they traveled around the West. I mean, they went to Arizona, not only New Mexico, throughout the whole state. They went to Texas, they went to Colorado, they went to Utah. They went to as far north as Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yeah. Would you believe in that was one of the places I lived and I could feel his energy there. So, and I know what hotel they stayed at. I know, like, all the ins, outs, whatnot. Yeah.
And have you ever visited any other Billy the Kid historical sites and felt
I
the
have
same deja vu?
Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Cimarron, New Mexico is a big one. Cimarron, New Mexico is a big, 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 big one. His energy literally hangs out there.
That's
Yeah.
great. So
And
that, could
it's
they hang
not
out
just him. It's not just him.
Mhm.
There are also my Earp cousins, Doc Holliday, my other cousin, my cousin Bat Masterson, my cousin Pat Garrett, my cousin John Wesley Harden, my grandpa Jesse James, my oh my God, my cousin Blackjack Ketchum, my cousin. I mean, I could
Blackjack
name
Ketchum?
drop friggin' all day long. They all hung out there. And then TJ Wright, who used to own the place, got shot in the back, died in his room. He and I have actually struck up a friendship. He's like my older brother now. And every time I go there, he goes, "Hey, sis, you're back." I goes, "Bro, come here, give me a hug." So, you know, we pal around a lot. It's all cool. It's good.
Yeah, that'd be the craziest thing about having that kind of connection. Is just the kind of the ghost whisperer thing, bouncing off back and forth and seeing them. Now let me
Yeah.
ask you this: Have you ever died? Near death experience, anything like that?
Yes, 4 times.
I was going to say
4
you've got to have some kind of
times.
connection like that.
First time I went back to Fort Sumner and Billy came and told me, you know, you can't be here right now. It's not your time. You have to go back. You have more work to do. Wait for me there until I return for you. Remember, I love you always.
Yeah, that's got to be like.
And return for me in this lifetime. Oh,
Mhm.
yes, he has. Yes, he has. In multiple ways.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that I can't imagine like bouncing back and forth with a connection like that after when something like that happens. Like what just happened? Especially if you didn't know it.
Well, I asked
Yeah.
him, well, my, you know, and I even looked in the store window. I goes, "Oh my God, I'm pretty. My teeth are straight. Whoa. And they're white. Whoa. And my skin's dark. Wow. My fingers are long. My nails are long. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm thin. I love my dress. Wow. My feet are tiny. Wow. And my hair was black and slicked back in a bun. I'm going, holy shit, I'm pretty. Yeah. And I looked all the way around me, and there's all these old West Outlaws. I mean, the badasses of the badasses, okay? We're talking all the historical names, you name it. They're all standing in a circle around me, and Billy's the one to make contact with me. And wouldn't you know it? I mean, it was like returning home. It was a homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really nice. I didn't want to come back. No, I did not want to come back. Okay. Did not want to.
You say you died 4 times. Did that happen every time? Or was it
No,
before?
no. The second time I went to a hospital like setting. Oh, but on the tune of the first one, when I was brought back to my body, I was literally dropped into my body. And I mean, it was like dropping onto solid concrete. That hurt. I'm like, ow, hey, you mind? Jeez, you could have done that a little softer, you know.
It could have been you just getting all your senses back at once. You didn't have them. Just all the nerves hitting at one time. I can imagine it's a shock.
Yeah,
Back in
it
your
is a
brain.
shock. The second time I went to a hospital type setting, and he was being worked on. I was being worked on. He was in the bed directly next to me. And of course, we clasped hands for just a minute. I mean, just looked deep into each other's souls. He kind of halfway grinned, turned his head away, dropped my hand, and I was back in my own bed again. But I was deathly, deathly ill with, I don't even know what, I guess a 24-hour flu bug or something like that. But I did cross out of my body. I know that because I was not in my bed when I came to. Okay.
When you're in a hospital or an ambulance or something?
No. This was other side hospital called the Healing Place.
Oh,
I
okay.
only read about this place in a book. I mean, this place was insane. Out the big long walls were picture windows, literally. I mean, floor to ceiling windows. And on the smaller, shorter ends was like brick wall type, brick and mortar type walls. And I could see sunshine and, blue skies, wispy clouds, and greener than green grass, and blue lakes, flowers, and other buildings in the distance. And oh my God, it was pretty. And inside, there were doctors and nurses. They had on, the usual medical white garb. But I could not see their faces. I could hear them, but I could not see their faces. And, I remember seeing him in the bed directly opposite me. And these beds were, the hospital type single beds like I lay in now. And they were up on these pedestals that were kind of X-shaped and had plexiglass, but had like swirls of iridescent, colored, like pastel, light rays going through it. I thought, wow, this is insanely cool. And the bedding is whiter than anything we have here. I mean, whiter than white. I mean, even whiter than the walls in this room.
But then you just came right back afterwards.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a 24-hour bug.
Yeah.
I mean, did
And
you go to the
then the
hospital for it?
last-
I'm just curious about that. Did you go to the hospital for it after that? Like,
No.
I just died. I need to go. Go to urgent care at least.
No. I actually came back healed of my illness.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the healing place. That makes sense.
And then the last 2 times I died, I had flatlined twice in the hospital, and I think I died one last time, I think, because I was staying at the home of a friend. I laid down, I guess, to take a nap, and they couldn't wake me up. And so one of my real close friends tried CPR, tried everything on me, kept the CPR up until, the ambulance came. They took me to the hospital over in Medford, Oregon, and put me on a machine called ECMO.
The ventilator? Yeah.
Ventilator machine, yeah. And I was in a coma for 2 months, but I flatlined twice while I was in the hospital.
Holy.
They had to literally life flight me over to Portland.
2 months?
2 months.
That's a whole nother ball of wax. Now, did you have any, well, not dreams, but like any experiences while you're in a coma? Any kind of visions or?
No, nothing. It was just like a deep sleep.
It's like you weren't there.
It was almost in what we know in the spiritual world as cocooning. In other words, I'm not crossed over, but I'm not here either.
It's like purgatory almost or whatever.
No, it's just deep black sleep. Usually when you're deep black sleep like that, it is what is known as cocooning. In other words, you're sleeping off that lifetime.
That sounds amazing.
So I think
a 2-month nap.
I was sleeping off this lifetime because I think I just laid down and my body and my heart, my mind and my soul just gave up, because I'd experienced. What is that?
That's my daughter screaming.
Oh, okay.
No, what do you hear?
Oh, I heard.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, are you serious? Yeah. Always when it's a good episode, they go nuts. I was just thinking, like, I can't imagine like getting 2 months of sleep. How do you subscribe to cocooning?
I mean, it was nice to be able to rest like that, but at the same time, it was like I was sleeping off
Yeah,
this lifetime.
I bet, because it's just everything repairing, and whatever happens when you sleep, it's just to a super level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was like where I wanted to cross. I wanted to make that final journey because I have been through so much. I have been through so much heartache and so much, just so much bad in my life. I think I just wanted out.
I bet you were fighting for it both ways,
Yeah.
subconsciously.
Yeah.
I often wondered that about coma patients, if they had dreams or if they,
Some of them do. Some of them
yeah,
actually hear what's going on around
hmm,
them. Some of them actually physically witness or see, even though they're in a coma, they still see from outside their own body what's going on around them. Some just deep sleep like that.
do you think some do the out of body experience, like leave
Yes.
and but come right back in a few weeks or months?
Yes. Yes.
There was a movie, The Dragonfly, where that happened. I know it's
Mm.
fiction, but the doctor went down to Costa Rica and got lost in the jungle and was in a coma and reached out to her husband because she was pregnant to come get the baby. Spoiler alert for anybody who haven't seen Dragonfly, but it's good. It's scary. It was good. But she goes in a
Mm.
coma. She goes in a coma and comes back to see her husband and gets him to come get a baby that's in the jungle with the natives. So it makes you wonder if that could actually happen to some degree, which I think it
It might
definitely
be
can.
based, yeah, it might be based on a true story. You never know.
That's a good one. What about your gypsy background? I was one
Oh
of,
my God. I just recently found out I actually have two lines of it.
yeah, that's a crazy.
One, my previous lifetime, no wonder that family could never stay put in one place. They were actually Mexican gypsies. I did not know that until some things kind of started adding up. And, I saw something on TV, I think, and I kind of
Mhm.
asked about it. And one of my people goes, so now you find out the truth. I goes, huh, yeah.
Were they bloodlines like the Romanian gypsies, or just Mexican
No, no,
nomads?
no, no, Mexican.
Mexican nomads.
Mexican. The other one was Roma. The other one on my mother's line is Roma.
That's such an intriguing. Like that's there's hardly anything about them. You can't get
Yeah.
any kind of details about them because they were kind of
Mm-mm.
shut down and
Mm-hmm.
just cast aside as trash. But some of the stories you read, it's just like, how is that even possible? Like they go from town to town and they practice black magic. Like what's not to
Actually,
love?
they don't do black magic. They do actually what is a little bit closer, I guess you could say, to Santeria.
Yeah, I don't practice Santeria. Got no crystal. Yep, that's it. I had to sing it to myself.
But basically, I think they do something a little bit closer to Santeria,
Yeah,
I
you know
think.
what I meant. Just like a magic, they had like their own little spells
Yeah.
and things like that. Kind of like in New Orleans. Butterfly
Yeah.
effect. Holy crap, butterfly effect was effect. When he came back with no arms, that's the worst. I still have nightmares. That movie.
Well, in any case, yeah, I have two different lines. One is Roma on my mom's side, and then on my dad's side is Mexican Gypsy.
I didn't know there were Mexican gypsies.
Oh yeah,
I
there
guess
were.
there were in every culture. There had to be some form
Yes.
of nomads and
Hmm.
wanderers, vagabonds of such.
And I believe my McCarthy
Hmm.
line might have actually been possibly. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't nailed that down yet, but kind of makes sense as for why they kind of roamed around a lot too.
Hmm. Yeah, they never have a place to stick. Never have a place to stay for long.
Hmm.
That kind of reminds me of how the children of Israel were for a
Yes.
long time, and still are kind of.
Yes.
They don't get the same treatment. Tried as bad. Let's shift gears a little bit with the cold cases, criminal investigations. What is the most chilling, unexpected case you've ever been involved in? Like, what's the
Oh
craziest?
my God, I've been through several of them. One of them was
For you to be a
the
psychic. I wanted to hear that
yes.
especially.
One of the cases I worked was the Kit Carson co-op robbery case. That was my information that actually
Mhm.
cracked the case. I found out about a year and a half later in the newspaper, and my now ex-husband, read the article to me. And yes, that's in my book too. That's going to be in my book. I got permission from the paper to reprint it. And it was my information that cracked that case wide open. And
Mhm.
believe it or not, the person that actually was the main perpetrator, I walked right past her and made eye contact with her.
Now, what was the case? Can you describe the case a little bit? I don't know if I've heard about that one.
Well, it was where the electric company of the city that I resided in, Taos, New Mexico, had been robbed by one of their employees. Yeah. And I walked right past the perpetrator the same day as I found out the place had been robbed and made eye contact with her.
So
Yeah.
she was still working there.
Oh, yeah, at the time.
Hmm.
I don't know right now whether or not they'd fired her, but she went back to work for the same place after the DA, god darn idiots, bungled the darn case.
So they actually caught the person and let him go.
Yeah, because the DA got the wrong information on something, or like didn't dot an I or didn't cross a T somewhere along the lines, and screwed up, messed up the whole thing. They ended up throwing out all the charges. Damn it. Oh, I could have strangled him. Oh, I was so mad.
And she went back to work there.
Yeah, can you believe it?
What the? At least fire the lady.
God, I know, right? And then the
that's some job
other
security.
one, yeah. And the other one was the Holy Cross Convent convent fire and murder case. Turns out there were 3 homeless people, went down in the basement, alcohol, pizza party, the whole thing. 2 of them ended up stabbing one to death, leaving
Pizza
him
party.
in his body in the basement, set fire to the place to cover their tracks. Well, my ex-husband was driving past the place, saw the smoke, went to see what was going on, and he basically called me, said, "You're never going to believe this." I said, "What?" He goes, "Holy Cross Convent is on fire." I goes, "No, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, there's gotta be a movie, something or another for a movie or something. That's not possible. I mean, come on, think logically,
Had you had a dream or something about it before that?
No.
Was that why he called you?
No. He was actually out early that morning heading to work and found out about it from the fire department, and who was there on scene. And I kind of got a flash vision of something. I goes, "This ain't just a fire. There's something more to this." I said, "Somebody died. I don't know who. I don't know what. I don't know why. Somebody died. There's a body in that building. Don't ask me the details because I don't know. I couldn't tell you." Well, I found out yet again about a year and a half later in the newspaper, which, by the way, I got permission to reprint that article as well. And it just so happens my information cracked that one too.
Now, did they use it in the case? That's the thing I always want to know.
No, in fact, they didn't use any of my information. It came out that the information I had was actually true. And I even told the Kit Carson co-op president, if the cops need anything else, have them call me. Call me, call me, call me. I'm happy to help. No charge. I don't care. This is my community too. Somebody robs you guys, they robbed me as well. So, no. I ain't playing that,
I always wonder if like technology is going to catch up to psychic abilities in like
Eventually.
100 years. And Riley was asking, how does one become a psychic? How could you practice for it or anything like that?
Well, first things first, clear your mind. Clear your mind. I mean, totally blank screen. Okay. Get real dead center with yourself. I mean, really center up with yourself. Okay. Open your ears. Listen. Spirit will speak. Watch for signs. It doesn't matter if that's coins, feathers, things falling that shouldn't be falling, things moving that shouldn't be moving, footsteps
By the
that
way,
should not be there.
feathers are used a lot. I get a lot of feathers. I'll find feathers all the time.
There you go. There you go.
I found a feather as long, like as big as a turkey feather. You know what a turkey feather looks like.
Oh, yeah.
But it was as long as a turkey feather, or maybe a little bit bigger, and it was the weirdest. Almost like, I guess it may be on like a. It wasn't like a feather. It wasn't like one they would fly with. It's like a big feather, but it'd be like under their feathers. And I found it on the ground. I don't know what bird it was from here. The place where it was.
Could have been either an eagle or a hawk.
Yeah, but it was your standard foot. It was about a foot long, or maybe, but it wasn't like a feather that would have wind. It was like a real doily looking hairs on it. Like it'd be under the. I don't doubt it'd be something. The only big animals around there are like we got eagles and hawks, like you said, but ducks, from the. But it was just by my truck, laying next to my driver's door. Out of all the feathers, and when I'm on that particular street,
there you go. You're being watched after.
Yeah, when I'm on that particular street, sometimes I'll see feathers falling from the sky. Happens all happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually it just means that they're doing what is known as molting or shedding.
Yeah, but it's just random that I see that when I'm over there. What in the world? The fact that I saw that giant feather by my truck when I was starting to notice all those feathers.
Yeah, you're being watched after.
I hope so. I need to hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to find it. It's not. It's just like whenever you see like it looks like an ostrich feather is what it looked like.
Right. That could be either eagle or hawk.
I couldn't think of what I mean. Like, why is this giant dirty feather by my truck? And out of all the places to park, yeah, there's geese over there too. I mean, it could be in anything. I'm saying it was weird to be that big because of me noticing feathers at that particular time, and that giant ass feather was right there.
Right.
I'm like, I get the point. Like, but I don't know what to do with this. I don't know.
Keep it. That's
dirty.
The whole point. You're supposed to keep it.
Well, I put it in my truck and shut the door. When I went back into it, it fell back out. I said, okay, I'm not kidding. I'm not picking it back up. Because I'm not supposed to have it. It's just a sign. Maybe it's a sign for someone else. The next person comes by. It's like the sign portal. It's like an elevator for signs at that last particular parking spot. So Amanda was asking you about talking to animals.
Oh,
and your connection with them. Abe's wife, Amanda. You know her from Glenn's show.
Yes. Okay. Talking to animals. I specialize in talking to animals as well. I speak pretty much every language of critter that there is. Okay. And I can actually telepath with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories they tell me, oh my goodness, they're awesome.
Are the humans ever back in animal form?
Yes.
I wonder how that works out. Like if they have a past life regression and they're a person, something like that happens, you get hit by a car and they come back as a person.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I meant. But if they you had the experience of being with a kid after an NDE, like if they had that, they were a goose and all of a sudden they're a kindergartner again.
Well, in any case, they're great. They tell me about their aches and their pains and their heartaches and heartbreaks, and yes, they have them too. Their families, their wives, their kids, their, you know, oh my God, just like us humans, oh my God, my in-laws, oh my God, they drive me crazy.
My in-laws.
Oh, it's
I can,
funny. I mean,
I
they're
can,
great.
I can picture mother birds getting mad at the father birds because they have to sit with the
No,
eggs all the
see,
time.
animals have no ego, so there's no way that they can experience, like anger other than, sadness at losing loved ones or partners and losing children and they go through heartache and heartbreak just like we do.
Here's a two-parter. Let's see, Amanda was attacked by Jaws. She was a minnow. Not. I had a question for you, but I saw that pop in. Amanda was attacked by Jaws, or she was a minnow. I'm not sure. What if you died and came back as a New York sewer rat? Talk about step down.
Ugh,
I don't
I
know, man.
wouldn't want to do that, thank you.
Imagine the freedom of a New York sewer rat to eat whatever you wanted, because there's food
God, I
everywhere,
know, right?
and it smells like pee, so you don't have to worry about how you smell.
Yeah.
But here's a two-parter. A mama dog has puppies. How does she feel about her puppies getting taken away like 6 weeks in?
I
It's got to be
think that
traumatizing.
it affects animals. I think that's why some animals adopt other animals and, raise them as their own,
It's got to be traumatizing to. I know they
Well,
they get
yeah.
over stuff quick. Animals like get over stuff fast because when you take another dog away or a dog dies, that's a friend. For a week, it's kind of mopey, and then all of a sudden it's back. But man, if you're a mom, that connection is like universal, like ethereal
Right,
to
right.
your kids. And I don't care what you are. If you get your baby taken away at 6 weeks, especially after you've nursed them, and all of a sudden they're doing good, and I don't have any kids anymore. Well, damn, that's
Yeah.
got to be traumatic. They've got to get over it, but it's got to be
Yeah,
traumatic
yeah.
it's got to be traumatic for a little bit. It's got to
Yeah.
mess them up. And part two to that, how does a chicken feel about us taking its eggs?
Well, I
I'm
think that
sorry.
they understand it because this is their role in their lifetime. So, I think they understand that, some eggs are kept, for
Mhm.
breeding purposes, and others, well, go toward human food, human consumption, that kind of thing.
I
I
can,
think they understand that we need
yeah,
nourishment too. So,
I can almost see chickens as being more annoyed by it than sad because
yeah.
they spent 15 minutes doing that. All of a sudden, like, what the way were you going with that?
Mhm.
Now I know that when they start clucking their babies and keeping them as, I think they would probably get emotional then, but I don't think they
Yeah.
get really attached to it. But I could just see them just like, what, like, son of a bitch, come here. Just laid that sucker.
Right,
I
right.
just found Amanda was terrified of fish. Glenn's terrified of pickles.
Huh.
Glenn loves a good pickle. Let's see. We had
Well, if you're terrified of pickles, I can guarantee something happened with that in a past
oh yeah,
life.
something definitely
If you're
happened to Glenn with a
terrified of
pickle.
fish, you probably either had a severe food reaction in a past life or something happened that you got unalived by a fish.
I'm terrified of snakes, but I definitely remember the day I was chased by one as a child. Like
Ew,
I was probably 2 years old and
ew,
have vivid memories of things that happened. Vivid,
ew.
like things that, like, I felt like it would happen in my 20s. I have that good of memories, and I remember when I was younger, my grandma describing them to me, and I'm like, I remember that like detail because she said that they were building a back porch, and let's see, they were building a back porch, and I stepped out and nearly hit my head on a cinder block, and she didn't, and she was just getting dressed, and so she just had underwear on, and I'd never seen her legs before, and I remember like poking her legs with my arms with my finger, like because she'd always had pants on. I remember poking her legs. She goes, "You were fascinated by my legs," and then I was like a year and a half old maybe when that happened, just old enough to walk. And then I remember the day the snake chased me, the black racer, and I remember like my
Ooh,
grandpa had sticks and it had red eyes and it was going and climbed up. Yeah, just
right.
that traumatic experience is. I mean, it's burned in. It's almost like a TV show in my mind.
Wow.
Cats eat their owners. Yeah, they do. That's why you shouldn't have cats. Fun fact: if you feed cats the yellow flowers from the yard, they die. So use
Oh,
that information what you will. It's a problem solver, is what it is. Kind of like stomping a
No, it
possum.
don't sound like a problem solver to me.
If you don't want cats, it is. My daughter brought some in to make a necklace out of it. Some little yellow flowers from the yard, and a cat ate them. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know they were poison. Yeah, Glenn, PETA doesn't have a place on my show, and if they do, they should subscribe. We got some talking. We got some talking to do. Also, and can you tell your Bigfoot story again, real quick?
Yes.
Because Riley
okay.
has a question about that.
Highway 96, mile marker 1. I think it was either 138 or no. I'm sorry, 135. It was mile marker 135, and I was coming home from, I think, Wairika or something like that in California. And we lived in Happy Camp at the time. And I had just woken up from a nap. Now, I have a habit of seeing things, after sleep. And, pardon me, I remember looking out my passenger side rear view mirror, and there's this big, beautiful, and I mean gorgeous Bigfoot just strolling along, minding his own beeswax, not hurting nobody, not doing nothing, just very peacefully, just walking along like nothing going on. And I took a mental note of what he looked like, and yes, I have a drawing, like a sketch drawing of it. And but he was the most beautiful creature I had ever seen.
You hear that a lot.
He was absolutely gorgeous.
What color?
He was about 9.5 feet tall, about thin to medium build. Had chest and abs any woman would go crazy for.
Fabio, Sasquatchio, what's it called?
Oh yeah.
In the cover of a Danielle Steele novel.
But anyway, he was absolutely gorgeous. He had reddish brown, sort of medium to short length hair all over his body, sort of an ape-like, like a cross between an ape and a human-like face.
I was going to ask about the face. What kind of nose? I know you're just driving by.
I couldn't tell really. I think it was more ape-like, I think, was the nose. Because he was kind of a cross between an ape and a human, But he was upright on 2 feet and just walking along like nothing going on, We just sort of nodded at each other and acknowledged each other's presences and went on our way. That was it.
Did your husband see him?
No, I was the only one who did.
Yeah, that's a telltale sign, and it's also why I asked you if you had an NDE earlier, if you'd ever had a near-death experience, because that's like a precursor to things like that. But all the other experiences you've had indicated something was up, some kind of veil crossing.
And I've been to the Birdcage Theater before, Tombstone, Arizona. I had quite the experience there as well.
That's a cool story there. People going out.
What I experienced was not like what other people have experienced.
That's the one where the Doc Holliday one, isn't it? The Birdcage. I saw they have mannequins in there.
Yeah, they do. But what I experienced was not mannequins.
There was. Go ahead. You tell what happened in the Birdcage.
Well, I was physically assaulted by the ghost of Ike Clanton.
Oh my gosh, Ike Clanton? That's the villain.
Yes. He is a rowdy, nasty, icky son of a you-know-what. Okay.
Ike Clanton. How'd you know it was Ike Clanton?
You never forget that high-pitched up in his nose, nasally voice. You never forget that voice. He is up in his nose, just, yeah.
Ike Clinton, Springfield, Arizona.
And he grabbed me around my waist, put a pistol, yes, a pistol, to my temple, to my forehead, and threatened to kill me. Well, Wyatt, Doc, Morgan, and Virgil did not take too well to that and too kindly to that. No. They came up to me and goes, "Ma'am, is that Clanton bothering you?" I goes, "No, Wyatt, I got it. Thank you, hon. I'll let you know if I need your help." "Oh, but Wyatt, I was just trying to show the lady a good time." Oh, God, this guy is such a moron, I tell you. And he goes, "Ike, drop the gun." And he goes, but Wyatt, he goes, "Ike, drop the damn gun." All I hear over here to my left is click, 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 click. I goes, "Uh-oh." And so he drops the gun, drops me. I run hell for leather. I mean, I was jamming, feet in it. Over to the stage where my dad was, okay? And I'm out of breath at this point, and I goes to my dad, "Oh my God, oh my God." He goes, "Melissa, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I goes, I point over toward the bar. I goes, "Ghosts." He goes, "What do you mean ghosts? There's nobody there." I goes, "Ghosts, don't you see them? Don't you see them? They're right there." He goes, "Well, who are they?" I goes, "I don't know. All I know, ghosts." He goes, "Are you serious?" I go, "Deadly." He goes, "You're not making this up?" I go, no way. No. After what I just experienced, no. And all I hear behind me when I'm running for my life is gunfire, back and forth, bam, 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 bam. I mean, back and forth gunfire between Ike, Wyatt, Morgan, Virgil, and Doc. I mean, it's like shootout at the OK Corral, all the way behind me. And I go back over there when I collect myself just to figure out what the blank happened,
How old were you?
I was 14.
14. Good. And so this is before you knew all the stuff was happening.
Yeah.
What was the first time you ever had the ghost whisperer experience?
Age 3.
3.
I chased that thing right back out of my house because it went after my infant sister.
That's got to be, that's got to be crazy because everybody that has your kind of ability has it at such a young age. Like they find out about it early.
Mm-hmm.
Or after they have a near-death experience. So.
And then all I smell in the air when I walked back to that area
Gunpowder?
Was heavy gunpowder. I mean, you could smell, physically smell the gunpowder. And Wyatt and Morgan, Virgil, and Doc come back up to me, goes, "Ma'am, anytime you're in Tombstone, can we escort you through town? We'll protect you from Ike and his goons." I goes, "Yeah, yes, please, thank you." Because I mean, you get an offer like that, you just don't turn it down.
No. That's once in a lifetime there. I wonder, sure, well, if he had a gunfight there and nothing was broken, if anything would have happened when he pulled the trigger, but I don't think it would have manifested in that particular way. Like, could a ghost gun shoot you and hurt you?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's only one way to find out. But you felt the metal.
Oh, I felt the metal all right. I know what that all feels like because I also used to do Civil War reenactments, and would you believe it, at very haunted, and I mean haunted, Fort Tejon, California.
And you also do, don't you do the quick draw competitions?
I used to a long time ago before all this happened. Yeah,
those are interesting because I get down that rabbit hole on TikTok sometimes. Cause
The
people
old
get
West gun
serious.
shooting thing, that's a lot of fun. I found several of my relatives brought back to me, no less, through that, which was really cool. They all want to do the Wyatt Earp or the Doc Holliday or the Ike
Mhm.
Clanton or the Billy the Kid or the, Daltons or the Youngers or whatever.
You ever go to like the Donner Party area and
Uh-uh.
explore that one? That'd be kind of cool.
I've never been there, unfortunately. I've never had the opportunity. I might one day, but
Well,
just not now.
Yeah, it's in my mind, like, but you're not really that close to it because it's in Colorado or somewhere. It's like probably 1,000 miles from you.
No, it is not in Colorado. It is in Nevada.
Nevada, yeah, it's up there in the mountains.
Yeah.
In that pass.
Yes.
You know how it's kind of interesting. You say you found your relatives with the gunslinger competitions.
Yes.
It's how whenever you do like a haunted house, you put out relics, not relics, but key items, like you put out cigarettes or a ball for a kid. I bet that you being sensitive and doing that gun thing just like ignited all kinds of shit.
It did actually, yes. Mm-hmm.
I bet that's like I bet it's like an unintentional trigger object.
Well, yeah, because I found out I think a couple of years ago that the age I was at when the thing at Tombstone happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was of the age where girls of that age group would carry around baskets of liquor and wine and sell it to the patrons at the birdcage. So obviously I was the trigger for this happening. Ike mistook me for one of those girls.
That makes sense.
At Tombstone, now here's the other crazy thing. I went back to Tombstone again and had an unforgettable experience. I actually did the walk with Wyatt, Morgan, Virgil, and Doc to the corral for the gunfight. And no, I don't mean the actors. I mean their energies.
Mm-hmm. The only
And
lasted
I
like
will
30
tell
seconds.
you, we had those boardwalks ringing. Ka-thunk, ka-chink, ka-chink, ka-chink. Boots and spurs going and guns hanging proud. I was in the middle. Doc was to my right. Wyatt was to my left. Morgan to his left, and Virgil to Doc's immediate right. And I'm like, hell yeah, Earps and Holidays coming through. And I swear, people's faces were draining with color, eyes were going wide, jaws were hitting the floor, drinks were dropping, ice cream cones dropping, dogs barking, kids crying, people moving out of the way. I mean, it was funny. That was fun. I'd do that again in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
You think they could see them?
I saw them, and I know everyone else there. Oh, yeah.
Especially if they heard it. Glenn thinks I blocked it. Glenn thinks I blocked him from posting, and I didn't. I didn't block you, Glenn.
We made those boardwalks ring. We made those boardwalks ring. And I promise you, we made those boardwalks ring. I think the next time, I am going to buy a pair of spurs that I saw online that fit the period, okay? And I am going to wear them when I go back to Tombstone. And I want to see if this is going to happen again. Most likely, yes. Because I hit 5th, which is the cross street, and Allen, which is the main drag.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out of the Oriental Saloon, catty corner to 5th and Allen, okay? And they're like, you ready to go? I goes, ready and willing, cuz. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this thing.
Did you have any past life in Tombstone, or is this
No.
you being just a sensitive?
No, I'm a sensitive, and not only that much, but Wyatt, Morgan, Virgil, and Doc are my biological cousins.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I had someone on here who went to Tombstone on just a vacation, and he got there and got the crazy deja vu like you were talking about,
Uh-huh.
and he was walking the streets, and somebody asked him where something was, and he'd never been there, and he told him where it was down the street, take a left, first thing, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And he realized that he was a doctor there in a past life because he like
He was who in a past life? You cut out. I'm
a
sorry.
doctor, I think, in Tombstone,
Okay.
or he was something there.
Oh, I know who he was. Okay, I know who he was. Doc Fly.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. He said he was a doctor or a barber or something to that effect.
Dr. Fly. Okay, he owned the building that was directly next door to the OK Corral.
I could be a doctor. I may be speaking out of term about a doctor. He was something there for a long time. Like it was something like that.
Dr. Fly. Yes, I remember him. I remember him.
Joe, she has had experiences with the cryptids. She told a Bigfoot story earlier. If you'll come on time when people tell you, I'm just kidding. She saw a Bigfoot in California on the side of the road. But do you have any extraterrestrial experiences?
I have. One was pointed out to me over in Arroyo Seco, New Mexico, by a patron to my yard haunt. And then I had one more over coming home, I think from Santa Fe or something like that.
Mhm.
It was about early evening, just before sunset, or like just after, or something like that. Anyway, we saw one of those cigar-shaped crafts. Yeah, flying over Taos, New Mexico. And then over our then home in El Rito, New Mexico, we saw crafts, I mean disc-shaped crafts, chasing each other across the skies over the house. And then going into Colorado, it was late at night, real dark. I saw a bell-shaped craft that was triangular on the bottom with 3 lights on the bottom and a strobing light on the top, and it was kind of spinning. And that came in over the house. I look up, I goes, whoa.
That's like the thing from Nazi Germany that they created. The bell.
Yeah, but this was a UFO. This was so entirely different.
Yep.
So yeah, I've seen that. We actually, when we were living in El Rito, myself and my ex-husband saw a craft. I don't know what you want to call this, but it was a disc-shaped craft land in a field about a mile from our house, and we watched as these, I don't know what you want to call them, but whether you want to call them aliens or beings or whatever, I don't know, came out of this craft. I'm guessing they were just there on a pit stop, get out, stretch their legs, go back and take off again,
That part of the country, you see UFOs routinely, whether they're government or anything weird, but like it's so open. It's almost like nature's test bed. Just weird shit. Anything can happen. They got every little town's got lights out there. Every little town's got a story. I think she froze up on us. She got attacked by a UFO. But if any of you have questions, put them in the chat. When her video renders, we'll ask her. Why are you hijacking my chat, man? I told you could still post. I'm not saying YouTube didn't. Curse of the Dizzle. I'm telling you. At least she doesn't have Starlink. Starlink locks up on you all the time. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, guess it's just me. And we'll talk for a second. I'm sure she'll be back. She may be having internet problems. Phone might have got hot. Tell us about your doc. Yeah, I talked about it earlier, but it's going to be at flintville50.com tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. It is about a 1974 rash of Bigfoot. Well, it started in fall of 73, got big from 74 to 76, and people saw it for a while after that. And it's a lot of it was white ones. The first one was a solid black. And I've got the first witness. I've talked briefly to a retired game warden that was involved with the case, and the principal of the school, of Flintville School, saw a white object walking the old train tracks in the mid 80s. So I've got 3 interviews. Okay, there she is. Yeah, and I got 3 interviews technically. Hey, the white one, but the second one I didn't do the reenactment with the Bigfoot suit. Yeah, so spoiler, I did a Bigfoot suit, and it's pretty epic. I mean, Patterson Gill will eat your heart out. I'm saying Bob Hieronymus right here, Bobby Dizzle Hieronymus. I'm gonna get me a hockey jersey like Happy Gilmore, just put Hieronymus on the back. See who the hell gets it. But I didn't do a recreation for the white one officially. What I did do is a little something a little artsy. And the wind map. I just start talking to the chat if it freezes. I mean, it's been an hour and something anyway. I was gonna wrap it up. If she doesn't come back in a few minutes, I'll let her know it ended and it's fine. But yeah, she was a fun guest. What's a wind map? He said moo. Mao. Mao? Is that a Buddhist thing? I think the Bobby Dizzle Hieronymus thing is funnier. Y'all let it be. Right. I'm writing that one down. If she doesn't come back in the next 2 or 3 minutes, we'll just wrap it up. But yeah, if you got anything for me, anybody got anything for me? Any cool movies? I finished Severance. Anybody hasn't seen that, need to watch it. We got White Lotus. We got what do we got? We got the Righteous Gemstones. Amazing shows. I love shows. I could do a podcast just on shows I'm binging. Unfortunately, there's 5 billion other ones, so I don't think I'd be unique or niche. Unless I would just what if you just made a show where you just spoiled everything like right then? Everybody just got on there and yelled at you. I bet that'd be a good one. People firebomb your house, but yeah, Red Room Creative Media's got some good Squatchy videos lately. Got a hoot owl that really debunks the Mothman thing, or lack thereof debunks. Yeah, that Tennessee and Kentucky. Who do I like? I don't know. It's basketball. I don't really do that. I mean, if I had to pick between Tennessee and Kentucky, I'd probably pick Kentucky because I don't like Tennessee because they ruined my childhood. They didn't win any national championships doing it, but they did ruin my childhood. I don't count 1998. Whoever heard of winning a national championship but not getting a Heisman? Bush League, Tennessee. Bush League. Joe, you want to hear my owl hoot? Listen. Yeah, that's right. I can do animal noises. I can be here all night. What'd you think? Or was it distorted? Apparently Alabama's doing good in basketball right now. My wife's clapping. I just can't do basketball. I don't really like it. You sound like a Bigfoot imitating an owl. What an insult. Man, your mama's so fat, she sounds like a Bigfoot imitating an owl. Crack myself up. She said her phone lost connection. But she hasn't seen the message where I told her it was okay to come on back. We'll give her couple more minutes. It costs nothing. What else you want to talk about? Check this out. Let's look at the documentary cover. Since we're talking about Flintville Monster. Give you a sneak peek. Sneak peek into the Flintville Monster. Here we go. There it is. It's ready to launch tomorrow night. Who's ready to watch it? Flintville50.com. Everybody write that down. It'll just drop and you can watch it, but I put Flintville50.com, so when I go on different shows or something and advertise, I can give that to them, and it redirects to a page that has merch and it has clips and it's got the full documentary on it. I should play a little bit of it and tease you. Ooh. This is just the part of the trailer. You're not really seeing anything new. And I know you can't hear it because I don't have the sound on. This is just the first 30 seconds from the creators of the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast. Yeah, Phyllis, tomorrow night, it's going to be fun. It's 26 minutes long. It's a lot of fun. I stop sharing. I had fun making it. The problem I ran into was I shot 2 interviews and I thought I was just going to do 2 podcast episodes, but they were so good and so close to the house. Like Flintville's right there. Like it's 20 minutes away. And I'm like, I could go try my hand at a documentary. I was just going to shoot some, ended up being the whole thing. I pieced it together over I figured it up. I did my first interview over a year ago, almost like a year and a week. And I just kind of sat on it and tried to get more and more. And I think if I ever do one again, I'll obviously be a little better at it. And I'll obviously, and I'll try to do it inside of about 3 months so when the documentary writes itself, which they do, I'll be able to, it'll look more consistent in design. You know what I'm saying? This one looks like I took a documentary class as part of my major, which I did major in that kind of stuff, but it's been 20 years ago. It looks like I took a documentary class in film school, and that was like my final. It has an element of every documentary style in it. And, you know, it's not going to win any awards that I know of. I would love it to win some awards, but it's a fun watch. It's 26 minutes long. It's condensed, but it looks like I was on some kind of illicit drug coming up with different concepts. It's not consistent in design the whole way through. And, you know, I'm not a professional. I never plan to be. So that may be what makes it unique. I know Joe can't wait to see my Bigfoot suit in there. My cousin. Oh, did she come back? She didn't come back. A little bit sad. Sorry, everyone. I'm chatting with her. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? No, Phyllis is here. She's got the Bobby Dizzle Hieronymus is hilarious. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. Phyllis has got the iron wrench. When I was doing the live podcast down in Auburn back in January, I said she put you in a half Nelson. You start messing around. If she comes back here in just a second, she just saw my thing, so maybe her phone came back. But I should learn how to rant. I don't really know how to rant. I do better writing things and editing after the fact. I tried to fancy myself as kind of quippy, but I'm really not that quippy. But if I have time to think about it, I am and write. Pretty creative if you give me about a month and a half to think about it. What I should have said. Let's see. Let's see if we can find. Remember the Falcon 9 portal that just happened a couple days ago? This is just me practicing right now because the guest is having issues. Remember when that happened? Yeah, you can try to come back. I don't care if she comes back. You okay if she comes back for a few minutes? I really would hate to. I really would hate to not end the show with the guest, but whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. And if she's not back by 30 minutes after, I'm going to get off of here and don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit here and look at myself. Look at the comments of the 6 people who aren't watching anymore. Look, we had a good episode. We had an hour and 15 minutes of a good guest. It's very lively. And she had technical problems. And I'm just sort of waiting. Kind of a courtesy wait, if you know what I'm saying. Awkward silence. Not really concerned. I'll cut this part out of the audio upload. Anybody's rewatching this thing at the end, just know that we're just chilling. Hit up FlintBill50.com after tomorrow at 7 and watch the doc and buy a t-shirt. That Teesprings t-shirts are expensive because they make you click up. Like, I think I got them set to make a $2 profit just so if something does pop off, I'll make something. I don't know. I'm not trying to. I would like to pay off the house with it, but I know that I'm not trying to get my hopes up. Pay off the house of the Flintville monster. Somebody come after me with a cease and desist. Quit using their town's name. Anniston, I don't know. Is that May, April? Anniston's a hard town for me to get to. And because I have to either go across the mountain or down to Birmingham and back up. And neither of those are favorable. They didn't design Alabama for easy travel. Hey, she came back. All right.
Guys, tech issues.
See, I told you she'd come back. Yeah, we'll just I felt bad. I'm like, if she doesn't come back, I feel bad ending the show without the guest.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that tech issues, folks. I had to order a new cable charging cord for my cell phone.
It happens. But yeah, tell us about your 90% success rate.
Is what now?
Your 90% success rate and how they can find your psychic services.
It's olsyent.com.
It's in the description.
Yeah. And 530-646-8782 and or psychic mom, PSYCHIC mom, MOM, Mary Oscar Mary 2017@gmail.com.
I put those all in the description for everyone to see if they wanted to. Always you can get to her. And I know I asked about the tarot reading earlier. Can you give a collective psychic reading to the collective watching?
I can try to. It depends on what they want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, you know how you can give like a general something that you just hits, like if a general feeling, almost a horoscopy, almost just that may or may not apply to everyone.
Well, right now I'm not really picking up on anything, and it's dinner time here anyway, so I got to get rolling.
You're cool. I just wanted to, since you come back, you told how to get to you. It's fine. I appreciate you coming on, and we went a long time.
Thank you much for having me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was great. We'll do it again sometime.
Thanks everyone for watching, and yeah, thanks for coming back.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, we'll roll the ending credits, and we'll see you guys later.
Okay, bye-bye.
I never didn't believe in Bigfoot. I never believed in, I didn't believe in. I never gave it any thought.
They kept wood knocking back and forth to each other, and it was in a pattern.
Barn owls don't typically throw rocks.
I come across these tracks.
Sasquatch is still not on my mind.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you're still on, thanks for coming back. That was an odd ending, and I'll take it. What are you going to do? That's why lives are fun. You never know what's going to happen. Again, Flintville 50 is the thing for the documentary that drops tomorrow on this YouTube channel. So if you're subscribed here, just come in here tomorrow night. What I'd like to do is this summer I'm doing a Mothman series all summer long. From June to September, I'm doing a Mothman series. And after that, I would love to do a Thursday night show at this time slot, but a little different format. I don't want to do so tell us about your book. I want to have like a bunch of different co-hosts and like panelists, and kind of do like a round table, like have even 2 or 3 people that are in the chat tonight. I don't know, just a conglomeration, like 10 people. I don't even give a shit. That just having a conversation about random things, and then somebody in the chat, kind of like a Woodwalkers thing. I don't want to say kind of like the Woodwalkers. Not even different questions. I'm just like a conversation. Talk about like their favorite Coke or something, and not necessarily just talking about somebody's career. Just like a round table, like an after party. Just I don't know. I wanted to call it Little Friday High Strangeness for Thursday night, because back in college we would always drink when we were on Thursday night, get hammered, and then call it Little Friday. But that's because here's a full disclosure. I don't know if I like doing live shows as much. At least carrying them, because it's hard to do with both of them. But if it was 3, 4, 5, 6 people having a conversation, it was just like back and forth, kind of like a round table. That'd be fun. And when I'm recording a show and trying to put together a series, then we just wouldn't do it that night. It would just be a show that comes on whenever I'm kind of filled the time. But that's what I envision. I feel like I need to be a little bit more popular and a little bit more consistent doing it, because people got lives and don't want to hang out with the Dizzle all the time. I bet Kevin would be on here though. He knows everybody. Anyway, folks, I'm leaving. Have a good night. Tomorrow night, don't forget to hit this channel up, and I'm going to share it to all the groups. So if you're in those groups with me, share the thing for me. Let's get it out there. Let's make this documentary the best damn documentary ever released. All right. See you later, guys. Thanks for coming on.